Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this practice, really designed to tap into your deep core stabilizer muscles. So these muscles are really designed to act like a corset, running all the way around the front, the sides, and the backs to support your spine and your pelvis. And when we've got good activation in our core stabilizer muscles, we have better balance, we have better stability, we have better injury prevention, and we have less chronic fatigue and pain in our low back. So let's get started with a 25 minute practice to really start to wake up these muscles. All right, we are not going to need any props for this practice, but maybe a blanket or a pad if you like a little something to support your back body. We'll be on the floor for this entire practice. I am going to be taking you through a series of drills and exercises. We're going to be doing about 10 repetitions of each one, and I will just be taking us through one set. As you start to cultivate your strength, you can start to add either more repetitions or more sets. And salud, here is to our health. So let's get started. Go ahead and come down onto your back. And I will meet you in our constructive rest. So knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the floor, and we're going to start in a place where we start fairly often with a little bit of these spinal undulations. So you can bring your hands to your hip points, fingertips to the hips. And then from here, let's kind of roll the pelvis forward and roll the pelvis back, right? So probably not our biggest range of motion or movement, but when we do lack the structural integrity in our core stabilizers, one of the ways it will show up and express in our bodies is through fatigue and sort of chronic low back tension. So take a couple moments to just kind of find some mobilization here for your lumbar spine. We're kind of rolling forward and backwards right over your sacrum. So a little bit of brushing of the skin here towards the back of the pelvis. Do a couple more of these just because they're lovely. And then from here, let's pause. So neutral tilt to the pelvis, which is going to be a little different for each one of us. And we're going to start with a little more stretching here. So you're going to bring your left knee in towards your chest, take your hands, interlace your hands around your shin. And let's go ahead and stretch this right leg all the way out on the mat. So Apanasana, right? Really kind of squeezing that left knee in, a little squeeze to the groin. One leg hugging in, one leg stretching out. And then we're going to move through some extension and flexion through this left leg. So you can reach your left leg up towards the sky, and maybe that happens on an in-breath. And then on the exhale, hug your knee back in towards your chest. So just starting to bring a little more movement into the joint of your knee, into the joint of the hip socket, and a little more stretch and space to the soft tissue of your hamstrings back there. If you want to feel this stretch going all the way down into the calves, as you extend your leg towards the sky, try doing a little heel thrust, right? Reaching out through the heel. And then hug your knee in towards your chest. And let's do just maybe one more time. All right, as your left knee comes back in towards your chest, let's pause. And we're going to switch these legs, maybe switching in midair, bringing that right knee in as you stretch your left leg all the way out. And again, we're going to pause here to hover for a moment. And then we're going to start to find a little warm up in the joints and the tissues of your right leg. Maybe again, combining these movements with your breath. So inhale, reaching up. And exhale, hugging your knee in towards your chest. So this is what we call Apanasana, and Apanasana is wind relieving pose. So as your knee comes in, we're really using this movement to press the breath out of the body. All right, one more extension and flexion. And then we'll go ahead and pause. And from here, let's bring both knees into the chest for a moment. Give yourself a sweet little hug. So squeezing two knees in at the same time, maybe a little rock side to side. And then from here, we're going to let these feet go all the way back to the floor so that we're coming back into our constructive rest. And we're going to come back to these spinal undulations, which is really creating an anterior forward tilt to the pelvis. You have space underneath the low back. And then pulling that pelvis into the posterior tilt, which means we don't have any space underneath the low back. So let's do that again. Forward tilt, spinal undulation. Take a moment to pause here. Feel that you can kind of slide your hands underneath your low back. And then move the pelvis into the posterior tilt. And it's a gentle hold here of this posterior tilt. All right. From this place, we're going to start. You're going to bring that right leg up into reverse tabletop. So your knee is above your hip and your calf is parallel to the floor. And then let's see if we can keep this gentle posterior tilt as you bring your left leg up to meet the right. And you're going to feel your core just come online. So that's transverse abdominis. From here, we're going to reach these arms up to the sky, palms facing each other. And let's take a bend to the elbows so that your arms are kind of mirroring what your legs are doing. This is our dead bug setup. And we're going to return again and again to this shape. So from here, let's take your left arm and right leg up to the sky. And then exhale all the way back into that dead bug. And then inhale, right arm and left leg. And exhale back to your dead bug. All right, let's go again. Let's go left arm and right leg. And exhale back to your starting point. Inhale, right arm and left leg. And exhale back, right? Notice that I'm going nice and slow here. So let's keep going. Little contralateral engagement, right? As we move right arm, left leg. And then left arm and right leg. And there's quite a bit of proprioception going on, right? When we start to move these limbs around in a contralateral way, it takes a little bit for our mind to catch on. So if this is the first time you've done these, don't get frustrated, right? Eventually your body finds a little bit of muscle memory and these will become an old hat. So let's do one more on each side, and we're going to close this out by extending right arm and left leg up to the sky. And then coming back to your dead bug starting point. And from here, we're going to bring these knees back in towards the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Take a nice sigh or yawn. And let's give a little hug or rock. So now we've got a little bit of this front core heat activated. We're going to do a counter pose here, which allows the front body to stretch and the back body to strengthen. So let's let our feet go all the way to the floor. And this time we're getting set up for bridge pose. So you're going to want to walk your feet in a little bit closer to your sitting bones. And we'll have these heels definitely in line with the sitting bones. And for this first round, we're going to keep the arms alongside your body. So you can press through your feet, lift your hips. Let's come up into our bridge pose. And let's pause here for a moment. All right, we're going to start to activate a little bit of heat here in your glutes. And we're going to take this into a marching bridge. So I want you to keep your left foot to the floor. We're going to try to keep the 90-degree bend in your right knee. And you're going to lift your right foot up off the floor. Oh, there's the glutes. All right, go ahead and relax. You're going to bring that foot back to the floor. It's not quite relaxing, but you can release your foot to the floor. 2 feet to the floor. Keep your bridge, and let's switch sides. Can we keep that 90-degree as we lift the left leg up off the floor? All right, you're going to release, and we're going to go back to the right. Yes, and release, and let's go back to the left. All right, that's two. Let's go for three and three, four, four. Check in with that 90-degree behind the knee. Can we maintain it? Let's go for five. And we're almost there. We're going to go six, six. Maybe feeling those quadriceps come online. Let's go seven, seven. Almost there. Eight, eight. Two more on each side. One, one. Last one here. You got it. Woohoo. Nice job. Go ahead and lower your hips all the way back to the floor. And this time, we're going to keep these hips to the floor, and we're going to take the legs back up to the sky, right? We've already found a little bit of stretch for those hamstrings. We're going to keep your pelvis to the floor, keep your arms to the floor. We're going to give the back a break, and we're going to come back to strengthening front body. So here's what I want us to do. We're going to keep the right arm reaching, or right leg reaching up to the sky, and you're going to lower this left leg until it's just maybe an inch or two above the floor. And I want you to pause for an in-breath. And on your exhale, switch legs. And then pause here for an in-breath. Exhale, switch legs. Pausing here for your in-breath. And exhale, switch legs. Pausing for your in-breath. Let's go again. Exhale, switch legs. Pause for your in-breath. Exhale, switch legs. Pause for your in-breath. Little bit of shaking coming in. This is good. Let's go again. Exhale to switch. We pause for the inhale. Exhale to switch. Pause for the in-breath. Exhale to switch. Pause for your inhale. Exhale to switch. And pause for the inhale. We're going to go one more time. Switch the legs. Hover as you find your in-breath. Exhale. Switch the legs. Hover. Exhale. Bring both legs up to the sky. And again, we're going to bring these knees in towards your chest. So wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a sweet little squeeze, a little bit of a rock, right? So I'm kind of running us through an initial set of each one of these exercises. So again, just to kind of reiterate, as you start to get more familiar with what we're doing, as your body starts to get more familiar and you start to gain strength, the idea here is that we start to extend our repetitions and start to build our sets. So for now, let's come back to center. And you're going to release your feet back to the floor. And we're going to, again, switch sides, right? So we're going to soften the belly side and start to activate the back. So we're coming back up into our bridge. But this time, rather than keeping these arms to the floor, you're going to bring your arms up to the sky. And we're going to keep just the left foot to the floor. And you're going to take your right leg to the sky. And we're going to press through this left foot, and we're going to be super mindful about lifting the hips up off the floor. Just notice that there's a little bit of swaying or hammocking. One side might be lifting faster than the other. And then we're slowly and mindfully going to lower back. Can we get both halves of the pelvis to meet the earth at the same time? Do it again. Press to the left foot. Lift your hip. And then from here, let's lower hips back down. So maybe body's starting to get the hang of it here. The next time you lift, we are going to pause. And you're going to keep your lift. We're going to lower this right leg so that your right thigh is in line with your left thigh. And then lift back up. Woo, we're going to do 4 more of these. We're going to lower and lift. That's 2, almost there. Let's go for 3 and lift. 2 more and lift. Nice job. Last one here. Lower and lift. And from here, let's lower the pelvis. Woo. Back to the earth. Keep the arms reaching up, and we'll just switch legs. So right foot comes down, left leg reaches up, and here we go. Let's press through that right foot and lift. And maybe again, very common, we notice that one side is stronger than the other. All right, it's going to show up here. So notice how much we're wibble wobbling, how much they're hammocking, how much there's maybe a little tremble, maybe even a little bit of cramping in the hamstrings. Right? If that happens, you can lower your hips and just stretch your leg out and then come back into it. All right, this next time that we're in the lift, we are pausing in the lift. And you're going to lower this left leg so your thighs line up. And then lift the left leg back to the sky. All right, let's go for 4 more. Nice and slow. So we're going to be with everything that is, right? No need to run away. Tap into your capacity. Right? Maybe we're butting up against our edge here, but that's good, right? We're building some strength, we're building some capacity, we're building some bone density, and we're activating a little more integrity for our balance, our stability, right? Our posture. Go ahead and lower your hips all the way back to the floor. Release your 2 legs. Let's open these arms all the way out into a T, and we'll take a moment just to stretch it all out. Walk your feet wide. This is one of my favorite ones. Take your right hand to your heart, and let's glide this right hand across your left arm as you drop your knees to the left. Roll to the left. Give yourself a nice reach and squeeze. And let's pause here for a moment. Feel the abdominal wall stretching. Feel the glutes stretching. Feel the back stretching. Feel the quadriceps stretching. And then bring this right hand all the way back to your heart space. Knees can come back to center as you come back to center. And we'll switch sides. Left hand to heart. Glide the left hand across the right arm. Roll to the right. Knees drop to the right. And you're going to reach those left fingertips way past the right fingertips. And then bring it all the way back to center. And I'll meet you here. All right, from this place, go ahead and walk your feet back in. Bring your arms down along your side body. Stretch your legs out. And that was a good 20-minute front-back core practice, starting to activate that corset of stability, of support. So again, thank you for joining me. You're going to continue to tap into your capacity, aka your core, and salud. Here's to your health.